In this tutorial, we'll talk about checking the MD5 sum of the downloaded live CD and how to burn this ISO image onto a blank CD-ROM. Here on the Ubuntu homepage at ubuntu.com, clicking on Download will take you to a page that contains links and information about how to download the live CD installer, also called an ISO or CD image. On this page, there is a link on instructions on how to burn the CD to a blank disk. This tutorial assumes that one has already downloaded the desktop ISO for the current version of Ubuntu Linux. On this page, this describes how in Windows XP to verify the ISO image to make sure that the downloaded file is not corrupt prior to burning. It also describes how to actually burn this image onto a blank CD. Now this document right here contains links to two different programs provided by third parties. HashTab, which is a free program to verify the hashes or the MD5 sums of the file that you downloaded with the hash that's on the Ubuntu website to make sure that the downloaded file was not corrupted. This page also contains a link to a free program called ImageBurn, which is a free CD image burning program. Now, for this tutorial, I have already downloaded and installed these two programs, and so I will be using these two programs to explain how to compare the MD5 sum and how to burn the blank CD. First, to compare the MD5 sum, once HashTab is installed, the first thing that one will want to do is to right-click on the ISO image and select Properties and select the File Hashes tab. So that's what we will do next. Here is the downloaded ISO. Right-clicking on it, going to Properties, and selecting File Hashes, the program begins to calculate the hash that is also called the MD5 sum for this downloaded file. And this process takes a minute or two. Now, once this calculation has completed, you will see the calculated MD5 hash for the downloaded file. And there is a blank box right beneath it with a button called Compare to the right. We need to put the MD5 sum hash for the ISO that we obtained from the Ubuntu site and compare the two. In other words, we're comparing the calculated number that's from the file that we downloaded versus the number that Ubuntu has on its webpage to make sure they are the same. If they are the same, then the file has not been corrupted and we can go ahead and burn it. If they are not the same, then the best thing to do would be to remove this file that was downloaded and download it again. So, going back to this page here, it contains a link with all the hash files for the various versions of Ubuntu that we downloaded. The version that we downloaded is right here, and clicking on that gives you a list of all the MD5 sums for all the different versions of this particular Ubuntu release. As you may recall from a previous tutorial, we downloaded this Ubuntu version desktop-i386.iso. So I will copy this MD5 sum and go back to this particular program and paste it in this box and click Compare. And it says that the hashes match. So that was a successful download and we can close this program. Now, returning to the Ubuntu page, the next step is to burn this ISO image onto a blank CD. They recommend this program here, ImageBurn, which I have already downloaded and installed. And I have already inserted a blank CD into the drive. The next step is to right-click on the ISO image and select Burn with ImageBurn, and then we will click Write to Disk. So I will right-click on this, select Burn using ImageBurn, and once the image has loaded up, you will then be able to burn. Now, this particular computer does not have a burner, but one would just simply click this button to write the CD, the image here, the ISO image, onto a blank CD-ROM. This process might take a few minutes, but once it is complete, you now have Ubuntu Linux burned onto a CD-ROM that can be rebooted and used as a live CD for testing purposes prior to installing it onto the hard drive. And that's the next step that we'll take. That's the end of this tutorial. Thank you very much.